Why do some women seem to radiate a quiet, alluring beauty while others live in search of external validation? What truly distinguishes these women who exude confidence and authenticity? The secret may be overlooked by many. It does not lie in fleeting fashions, expensive clothing, or flawless makeup. The true essence of this beauty comes from within, from a deep connection with one's own identity. The answer to this question might surprise you. These women have a unique outlook on life. They choose to live in peace with themselves, avoid connections that drain their energy, and maintain a presence that inspires. It's not just about habits, but a transformative mindset that changes not only how they see themselves, but also how the world perceives them. Today we will examine 3 characteristics that define these women and how you can apply these principles on your own path. They do not simply accept the passage of time, but handle it with wisdom. Building inner wealth becomes a priority, something that goes beyond cosmetic or fashionable accessories. By eliminating distractions, these women are able to live authentically and align their decisions with what truly matters. And the most fascinating part? This approach brings peace, contentment, and joy, no matter where you are on your journey. This does not mean that you have to forgo personal care or neglect your appearance. The crucial point is to focus on what matters: inner balance. At the end of this video, you will understand why the happiest and most radiant women are those who prioritize their emotional and spiritual well-being over external influences. In addition, you will receive practical tips on how to integrate these concepts into your daily life, thereby developing a sense of fulfillment and freedom that is unique to you. Before you dive into these discoveries, take the opportunity to subscribe to the channel and activate notifications so you don't miss any future content. Your support is important so that we can continue to exchange transformative and inspiring ideas. If this topic is important to you, please like the video and share it with someone who could benefit from these ideas. And one more thing, your opinion is very important to us. If this message resonates with you, please leave a comment with the text, "Yes, that makes sense to me." However, if you believe that something could be improved, or if you would like us to approach the problem from a different perspective, please comment 0 and let us know how we can provide you with even more value. Please consider liking and subscribing to the channel. It is completely free and makes a huge difference for us. Your support strengthens our community and motivates us to continue sharing inspiring thoughts with you. Let's now uncover together the first essential characteristic of these extraordinary women: the development of an inner wealth and a genuine confidence in the person they truly are. What constitutes true beauty? Is it about the choice of a flawless appearance, or the way a person authentically moves through the world? The writer Eleanor Barnes said that there are 3 types of beauty: the one we wear on our face, the one we cultivate in our mind, and the one that reflects in our daily way of life. This thought reminds us that superficial beauty is fleeting, but true essence is strengthened through experience, wisdom, and a life lived authentically. Women who radiate this genuine beauty are not those who hide behind jewelry or strive for external recognition at any cost. They are the ones who embrace their truth, accept their imperfections, and face challenges without fear. Their essence is not defined by imposed norms, but by the depth of their inner world, the serenity they cultivate, and the unwavering self-confidence that arises from accepting their true personality. This beauty does not fade with time, does not follow fleeting trends, and does not need to be showcased to anyone. It manifests in the authenticity and cheerful splendor of those who live purposefully. Think of Grace Matthews, a woman who chose to forge her own path, regardless of the expectations of others. Grace was a famous writer and was not admired for her appearance, but for her impressive presence and deep self-understanding. She rarely wore makeup, but she always lit up every room with her unique energy. His secret? It wasn't about the mirror, but about her outlook on life. For her, a woman's greatest strength lies in learning to be happy, regardless of the circumstances. And it was not just a cliché, it was a principle that guided his life. Grace never sought external validation. Her happiness was based on the meaning her journey had for her, the connections she nurtured, and the freedom to be exactly the person she wanted to be. Her self-confidence surpassed all cosmetic means and radiated a unique light that no mask could imitate. Another inspiring personality was Alice Turner, a writer who reached the incredible age of 106. Even in her advanced age, Alice attended public events without makeup and proudly displayed the marks of her past. Her golden, slightly pinned-up hair and her natural skin were symbols of her authenticity. To the question about her decision to forgo makeup, her answer was as simple as it was surprising. The makeup looks like a mask. I want people to see me as I am, with all my years, my experiences, and my truth. These words resonated deeply with everyone who heard them. They were a poignant reminder that true beauty does not depend on what we add to our appearance, but on the courage to present ourselves to the world without fear of being seen. Alice also brought this authenticity into her writing. Her stories were full of genuine, flawed human characters that reflected the beauty of vulnerability. Her friend Margaret Rhodes said, "Everything is beautiful when it is natural and true." This philosophy guided Alice until the end of her days. His legacy gives us cause for reflection. How much energy do we waste in a world that places so much value on appearances, trying to meet the expectations of others instead of cultivating our own heart and soul? Imagine the ease and peace that could arise if we directed this energy towards self-discovery, growth, and acceptance. What if we allowed ourselves the freedom to simply be? True beauty lies in self-confidence, in accepting who we are, in the self-love we cultivate at every stage of life, and in the wisdom to honor our path without fear or regret. True elegance lies in the stillness of a woman who knows she has nothing to prove to anyone, and whose courage does not depend on the judgment of others. Imagine a smile that tells stories, a voice that conveys grace, and an inner world so rich that it needs no artifice. Instead of hiding behind masks, it is important to let your true self shine through. Every line on your face tells a chapter of your career, an authentic record of experiences that, when appreciated, become your most valuable accessory. Think of the life of Alice Turner, who with her natural demeanor showed that the pursuit of perfection is secondary to honesty, to being the person you truly are. Her attitude showed that the most important thing is not what one adds externally, but the integrity with which one lives every moment and positively influences everyone around them. In this inner light, one finds the true master of existence, that genuine glow that does not fade with time. Think about your relationships now. Have you ever paused and examined whether the people around you bring you tranquility or drain your energy? In a world full of demands and distractions, those who dedicate themselves to self-awareness recognize that energy is a precious and limited resource. The choice of relationships that give something instead of taking something is an act of self-love and respect for your path. With true independence, it's not just about solitude, but also about the ability to feel complete and to prioritize the quality of connections over quantity. Imagine the privilege of experiencing moments of solitude that serve as a stage for creativity and the unfolding of your dreams. The thoughts of philosopher Henry Taylor remind us that freedom lies in separating the essential from the superfluous. In conclusion, I would like to invite you to reflect on the inspiring story of Anne Harper, who lived by this philosophy and prioritized what nourished her soul. Allow yourself to embrace this wisdom by living with integrity. For by honoring your truth, you not only transform yourself but also illuminate the path for those who cross your way. An author whose genius was recognized at a young age has built a legacy based on conscious decisions. He believed that the world belongs to those who conquer it by their own efforts, and not to those who wait for external authorization. This simple but powerful idea guided his path and shaped every one of his decisions. His partner shared a unique vision throughout their marriage. They nurtured their individual passions together. While he tended to the garden, she devoted herself to writing. Her life was not enriched by the number of superficial interactions, but by the appreciation of space for rest and meaningfulness. After the loss of her partner, she found the strength to continue her work. During a walk, she had an unexpected encounter with an old acquaintance, which surprisingly led to a conversation that lingered and reinforced his beliefs. This moment was far more than just a chance encounter. It solidified his decision to prioritize what truly adds value to his existence. He began to limit unnecessary interactions, focus on writing, and cultivate a solitude that produced extraordinary results. His first collection of essays from 1992 received great acclaim from critics, and at the age of 103, his body of work became a legacy that showed that by resolving burdensome relationships, one creates space for profound insights. Interestingly, Marie Curie, one of the brightest minds in history, had a similar vision. According to legend, the couple owned only 2 chairs after remarrying. When she was suggested to buy more chairs, she firmly replied that more chairs would attract visitors who would distract her from her actual work. This decision, which prioritized research over societal expectations, led to discoveries that changed the world. The message is clear. An authentic life requires the courage to let go of what does not contribute to one's own development. It's not about isolating yourself, but about creating an inner sanctuary where every moment reflects your values and aspirations. If you choose to consciously invest your energy, your soul breathes and your dreams find space to thrive, inspiring others to do the same. You don't need external recognition to find your place in the world. Your energy is a rare and irreplaceable resource, and it is important that you appreciate, nurture, and invest in it wisely. In this way, you will realize that the most authentic connections, including the relationship with yourself, thrive in the corners you carefully tend to. This is the third essential quality: to live simply and keep the heart fulfilled. The writer Eleanor Grant has expressed a truth that resonates with our essence. We all inhabit the houses of the decisions we make, just as we wear the clothes that reflect our values. This poetic observation reminds us that every decision and every principle shapes the identity we share with the world. Women who radiate a quiet, enduring beauty seem to have unraveled an intimate secret of life. They consciously choose simplicity, not as a limitation, but as a path to true inner wealth. Their lives do not get lost in the incessant demands of modern consumption. On the contrary, they dedicate themselves to nurturing a heart that is peaceful and deeply connected to what truly matters. These women remind me of a calm river winding through the mountains, always serene and cheerful, indifferent to the turbulence that surrounds it. Instead of seeking recognition in the eyes of others or the shine of material possessions, they find satisfaction in nurturing an inner universe full of peace and meaning. Imagine the gentle warmth of the autumn sun filtering through the trees. This is how their beauty emerges, discreet yet undeniably captivating. Let me tell you the story of my neighbor, Mrs. Eleanor Adams. Her life is a constant inspiration and embodies the philosophy of authentic simplicity. Without the splendor of large villas or luxury cars, her home radiates intimacy and determination, with subtle aromas and notes of classical music in the background. Every detail, from the rustic furniture to the vases with fresh flowers, has been carefully chosen and reflects her inner peace. Eleanor wears timeless, simple, and elegant clothing, demonstrating that true elegance does not require extravagance, but rather authenticity and harmony with one's own values. With infectious enthusiasm, he dedicates himself to painting and finds a refuge in his wooden bench next to a dark-tinted window, where time seems to pass in harmony with his inspiration. His hands move with determination, transferring emotions into every brushstroke. Each brushstroke tells its own story, and the colors reveal deep emotions through their arrangement. His works do not conform to the conventional standards of a gallery, but are true masterpieces of the heart, full of natural landscapes, cheerful villages, and the tranquility he carries within. Eleanor's existence inspires me to a conviction that I cherish. Happiness lies not in possessions, but in the moments we treasure. She finds magic in the simplicity of a cup of tea with milk, in the gentle rustle of the herbs outside her window, or in the grace of a solitary bird crossing the horizon of her garden. Her days are a celebration of the simple and powerful gifts that life offers us, and her gratitude is palpable in every gesture. Eleanor's philosophy of simplicity shows that the renunciation of the superfluous is not to be equated with deprivation, but rather an invitation to embrace true abundance, a wealth built on love, peace, and authenticity. In his gaze, the secret of a fulfilled existence seems to lie, as if his presence conjured the tranquility of a sunny lake, undisturbed and deeply connected to the natural beauty that surrounds it. This perspective was taken up by great thinkers. For example, Margaret Alcott believed that true elegance does not consist in giving up what one has, but in living as one is. Eleanor embodies this wisdom and shows that the essence of beauty lies in intention, not in possessions or fleeting fashions. If this content has touched you, please leave a comment below. By sharing these thoughts, we acknowledge that by reducing the unnecessary, we create space for lasting and genuine joy that grows over time and enriches our lives. It's about understanding that the most valuable dreams, love, peace, and connection, can never be acquired through possession. Living life to the fullest is a decision that honors who we are and the gift of existence. In doing so, one rejects distractions and external pressures and focuses on what truly matters: the joy in the details of everyday life and the quiet moments that give life meaning. Women like Eleanor teach that simplicity does not mean the absence of ambition, but rather the presence of wisdom. With their quiet strength and the steadfastness of their grace, they remind us that a truly fulfilled life reflects the depth of the heart, not the size of the bank account. Eleanor's journey and her way of living in harmony with her values have shown me the legacy I want to leave. A legacy of love, friendship, and a heart that is forever open to the beauty of the world. And for that, I will be eternally grateful to her. I would now like to tell you a very personal and life-changing story that questioned everything I thought I knew about love, trust, and family. I called it The Forgotten Girl. It was a warm October morning in Vermont, one of those mornings when you can feel the clean air and the vibrant colors of the trees. I was celebrating my newly discovered joy of starting a new life with James, and was still very excited because I had only gotten married a week ago. That day, I decided to visit the small farmer's market, a quiet place where the scent of fresh vegetables mingled with the simple taste of chicken. As I picked out a perfectly salted tomato, a woman approached me, her inviting smile contrasting with an expression of regret. "You must be Sarah Bennett, James' new wife, right?" she said to me with surprising certainty. Her words revealed something I had never thought possible: the existence of James's 4-year-old daughter. In an instant, the world seemed to freeze. My hands trembled, and out of distraction, I dropped the bag I was holding. This revelation, as unexpected as a rainbow after a storm, questioned my perception of what I believed to know. In the midst of this whirlwind of emotions, I realized that the truth often reveals itself suddenly, urging us to live more authentically and with greater compassion. If this story has touched you, please leave a comment below. Your voice is important to continue this sincere and transformative exchange. When I saw Emily sitting on the floor of her bedroom, I felt a mix of relief and disgust, as if in that moment centuries of secrets and silence were contained. His vacant gaze reflected a deep sadness, while an aura of vulnerability permeated every feature of his face. Martha opened the door to the past for me with a look full of hesitation. Her lips moved to a barely audible whisper, revealing that there were stories that had been hidden for years, stories that could shed light on what lay ahead for me. I slowly approached the room, where the heavy atmosphere seemed to harbor memories of old joys and forgotten worries. Every detail, from the yellowed photographs adorning the walls to the furniture that evoked bygone times, told a part of the story of James and his family. As I got closer, the tension grew, and each step was marked by an overwhelming desire for answers. Martha began to tell with a trembling voice that Emily's life had been marked by challenges and sacrifices. After the difficult separation from Laura, little Emily lived under the care of her grandmother, while James remained distant and kept a secret he never dared to reveal. Every word from my grandmother seemed to break the silence and reopen wounds that had long refused to heal. The questions piled up. Why had James decided to hide this important part of his life? What reasons had driven him to build this barrier between me and what I believed I knew? Emily's gaze, as shy as it was filled with a silent plea for understanding and perhaps redemption. As the sun set and cast long, eerie shadows across the room, a sense of urgency washed over me. I knew that from that moment on, nothing would ever be the same again. The truth, with all its complexities and pains, was there and on the verge of being fully revealed. And I was determined to dive headfirst into this whirlpool of emotions, hoping to finally understand the mystery surrounding James and his hidden history. Emily's small hands moved carefully, shaping pieces of something that seemed to have a life of its own. When he looked up, his dark, expressive features strikingly resembled James's face and instantly took my breath away. My heart almost stopped as I stared at this unexpected reflection. It was the living proof of his secret, a connection I never would have believed existed. Confused and shaken, I turned to Martha with a trembling voice and the question that hung in the air, "Is she your daughter?" Martha hesitated, looked away, and mumbled something about Emily's parents being distant, but her answer provided me with no clarity. I already had the inevitable truth in my mind. On the way home, a wave of emotions washed over me. Anger, sadness, and the overwhelming feeling of having been betrayed. When I entered our house, I found James sitting on the couch. His smile, which had initially been directed at me, vanished as he noticed the pain-distorted expression on my face. My words, serious and sincere, came out unfiltered. "Is it yours? Why didn't you tell me?" James was silent for a brief moment. The burden of his secret was reflected in his downcast gaze. "I'm sorry," he finally whispered, and the tone of his voice betrayed the fear that kept him from being honest. Instead of alleviating the pain, his confession deepened the wound of betrayal. The trust I had in him vanished, and my heart was broken. I couldn't hold back the pain, packed my things, and left. At that moment, James tried to stop me and begged me to stay, but the disappointment was too great for him to hold back. The night grew longer as I walked to my parents' house, tears streaming down my face. My ever-protective mother exploded with outrage when she learned the secret, while my father, with his usual calmness, wondered if I still had enough love to forgive, and if James was truly ready to make amends for his mistakes. These words echoed in my mind for weeks, as James struggled to regain my trust in the following months. He visited my parents every weekend, endured my mother's icy glares, and repeatedly offered his sincere apologies. Gradually, his persistence began to tear down the barriers I had built around my heart. I decided to give her another chance, but made it clear that our relationship wouldn't survive another lie. Life found a new rhythm, and a year later, I gave birth to our daughter Lily. She was a light in our lives, her laughter filled the house with joy. But even as I celebrated my new role as a mother, I couldn't stop thinking about Emily. She deserves a family too. One evening, I looked at James and said, "It's time to bring Emily home." When Emily arrived, she was shy and hesitant, exploring the unfamiliar surroundings with her big eyes. I knelt down, my heart tightening with guilt and determination, and I whispered, "You are safe now," as I held her tightly. She hesitated for a moment, then broke down in tears and hugged me as tightly as she could. From that moment on, Emily became a part of our family. The journey was not easy. There were days full of doubt and frustration, but every challenge was worth it. Emily and Lily grew up inseparable, and our home became a place where laughter, love, and healing prevailed. In retrospect, I realized that through this experience, I learned the true meaning of family. It's not about perfection or convenience, it's about choosing love, even when it's difficult. It's about forgiveness, resilience, and the willingness to rebuild, even when the foundation seemed destroyed. The forgotten girl was never truly forgotten. She has become an important part of our history, a testament to the power of love, even in the face of pain. I conclude this story with an open heart and invite you to reflect. Life often presents us with unexpected challenges and tests our strength, our love, and our ability to forgive. On this journey, I have learned that family does not mean perfection. It's about accepting imperfections, choosing love over resentment, and finding the courage to rebuild what is broken. Now, I would like to hear your opinion. What did you learn from this story? Was it the power of forgiveness, the importance of honesty in relationships, or perhaps the value of resilience in the face of betrayal? Share what lesson you learned from this experience and how you would like to apply it in your life. If this story has touched you, leave your comment below. And if you liked this video, Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel to receive more inspiring and encouraging stories and life lessons. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video.